guys? John McNamara, host, running Vegas. We're talking local sports, business, real estate. If you guys like what we see, subscribe, follow us on Running Vegas Podcast. Today, we got a special guest. Round 2, Damien Bauman in the house.
Thank you for having me back.
Thanks for being on.
I'm glad I didn't break the cameras last time I was here. You know?
Thank God. Me too.
So yeah.
Well, I'm excited to have you on. Last time we wrapped, we got to nerd out because I love sports. We talked a lot on Nebraska football. So I thought, and we could talk a little bit. Nebraska's got Michigan. How you feeling about it?
I was going to go back for the game, and there's going to be a lot of people going back for the game because they were a reunion.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a tough one, man. It's one of those things as a Nebraska fan. Every year you start out super optimistic, and it seems like the last couple of decades the optimism fades. I hope the optimism doesn't fade after Michigan. I think I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Are you guys at home or are you in Michigan?
We're at home.
You're at home. Are you going back? Are you going to go back?
I decided not to.
Oh, okay.
So,
that would have been cool.
I think if I go catch a game this year, I'm going to try and make it easy. They play at out in UCLA, so I'll go watch them beat up on.
Yeah, get a guaranteed win
in the Big Ten. Yeah.
Yeah, UCLA's been rough this year. I went to the UNLV game, and I thought like, oh, big win, and then they got like trounced by New Mexico. So I'm like, maybe that wasn't that big of a win.
Yeah, and they just fired their coach too.
They fired the coach.
The best part about that is, and my wife, I'd like to think that she knows football better than like most male football fans.
Yeah.
She's been stuck watching with me for so long.
Yeah.
She were watching the game. She's like, "Why hasn't this guy been fired yet?" And then he got fired within 24 hours. So she called it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like our in-house. Like on-screen referee, like whenever a flag's called and they have to go back and review it, she's the one who's trying to call it every time. Like that's her specialty. So yeah, it's fun.
Oh, that's fun. I love that. Yeah, I started fantasy football with my wife, and now she's like in it. You know, the best part though is we have like one of the best teams. But then like when a player goes off, we don't have it. She'll be like, "Why didn't you draft that guy?"
Because we didn't know. Because I don't have a crystal ball.
Right.
Yeah.
But okay. Well, excited to have you on. Let's dive in. I know we talked sports last time. Like, what's new? I haven't seen you in I've seen you in the office, but we haven't like really wrapped. Like, tell me what's new in your world in the last 9 months, because you're not only a sports guy, you're a super successful man. So I'd like to hear about your projects you're working on, and if you want to dive into it a little bit.
Yeah, so last time we talked, I think we talked a little bit about Fortune Events.
Yep.
Which is exciting. It's our catering company. We've seen business pick up quite a bit. We just had our 1-year anniversary here at the beginning of the month.
Congrats.
So our first employee, her 1-year anniversary was a couple of days ago, Nina. So exciting to watch that company grow. We're going to be back at it again with F1. So it looks like we're finalizing everything with Gordon's Garage like we did last year, which is one of the reasons why we built the company.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple other things with F1 that we haven't finalized, but we might have another couple of projects going on that weekend, which is exciting.
Wow, congrats.
Thanks. We're picking up a couple of different festivals. We've done lots of in-home dinners. We've done birthday parties. We've done weddings. We've done all sorts of stuff. And I kind of go back, I think I might have mentioned this before, really the brainchild behind what we're doing there is Chef Gary Lamort. He's worked with some of the best chefs in Las Vegas, has an extensive resume. His passion and creativity for what they do in that kitchen, it kind of carries throughout everybody. And it's just, it's exciting. Mm-hmm. Whenever you talk to him about food, he has a passion for food, probably just like your passion and my passion for football.
Oh, there you go.
And he knows, and it's one of those things when you have a conversation with somebody who knows something a lot more than you do.
Yeah.
You just sit there in awe and listen to him speak, and that's how I feel when I talk with Gary.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah,
that's a huge advantage. So he's not even working; he's loving and enjoying it, right?
Yeah. So that for him, it's his happy space in the kitchen. And since then, one of the things that we didn't talk about is we launched the 64. So as of, I believe, 2 days ago, we hit our 5th month anniversary. So what the 64 is, it's an online tournament hosting platform. So it's a spin on the best of. So if you're in Las Vegas, you've got the best of Vegas, the best of Las Vegas, whether it's the weekly or if it's a review journal.
Yeah.
Every community has something like that. And we thought there was a better way to do it. We thought that, maybe voting wasn't so good. Certain people are winning things it shouldn't. In some cases, some people say it's a bit of a play on trying to get money out of the contestants to get them to buy into what you're doing.
Okay.
The way that we do it, it's free to vote, free to compete as a contestant.
Oh, cool.
So, we give away prizes too throughout this thing. So somebody goes votes, you give your opinion, you win some prizes. You've got an opportunity to win something just for giving your opinion. As a contestant, we look at it as a platform where a high tide raises all boats. Okay. So let's say, for example, we had a pizza tournament in Las Vegas, which went really well. But let's just take two fictitious companies. Let's say a Bob's Pizza. Obviously, Bob loves his customers. He wants to be very protective of them.
Yeah.
But you take 64 pizza restaurants, you put them in a March Madness style bracket, and they've got to work their way through 6 rounds to get to a championship. So if you have Bob's on one side, Mary's Pizza on the other.
Now I understand the number.
Exactly. So
That's clever.
You have them compete against each other. And what might happen is, even if they love Bob's Pizza, they're not eating there 7 days a week.
Yeah.
They might go try Mary's. And maybe one of Mary's customers tries Bob's.
Right.
They're going to be loyal. They're still going to come back. But it's an opportunity to see, some cross-pollination of businesses in the community. You try to raise up awareness about some of these, in this case, restaurants in the community. We launched a tournament in Quad Cities. It was actually Quad Cities, Best Pizza Quad Cities.
Okay.
And our chief marketing officer is from Quad Cities. And he's been telling us for months, he's like, there's no such thing as Quad Cities pizza, the taco pizza, and all these different, unique things about Quad City, which I don't necessarily know that I bought in, but hey, we'll run with it.
Right.
Dramatic success out there. The 2 restaurants that made it to the final, both very well-known pizza restaurants in town. His family still lives back there. After Uncle Bill's was the winner, after Uncle Bill's won, his brother-in-law went in on a Friday just to pick up a pizza like he does on most Fridays. He said it was standing room only. So the fact that it brought in extra customers to go experience something that was crowned the best of the Quad Cities.
That's a great
best
concept.
Of 64. Yeah, and we feel good about helping out small business. My business partner.
That's great promotion, yeah. And then you could promote it. So I have so many questions now.
Okay.
So round 1, is it like a week to and then what's the breakdown? How does it work?
So the tournament lasts 18 days. So you can vote. Voting launches at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
And then it ends 3 days later at midnight. So then we have a little bit of a break there. We go scrub the votes, make sure that nothing goofy happened within the system. We're really big on vote integrity. And then we launch the next round, and the next group passes through. And if you go to the site, you click on any of the contestants, and when I say tournaments, I'm talking a lot about food, but we had a best high school mascot tournament. We have a best online creator tournament that's coming out. A lot of interesting things. But you click on something about the contestant. We've curated some information about them, so you might get a bio that was written about any of these restaurants, get the history. Maybe they're willing to share some of their pictures, so you get some photography. So if you don't know something, you can learn a little bit more about it, and maybe you end up. I look at it like this: whenever I travel to a new town, I always try to find those best of lists, and those are the places I try. So our goal across the U.S. is we want to be the source of that for when people are really trying to find the best of, and we don't want it to be influenced by outside money.
Right.
If the one of the most fun tournaments we've had to date was a best donut tournament. And
is it in Vegas or is it outside?
America's Best Donuts.
Oh, America's Best.
So it was amazing. We had the final 2 contestants. We had a contestant out of Alaska against a contestant who's just outside the suburb of St. Louis.
Oh,
and
wow.
To watch the groundswell of support rally around these 2 places as they made it all the way through, and even to see social media posts after the fact, with the restaurant that won, somebody traveled from California and said, hey, I heard you were the best donuts in America through the 64, traveled from California just to try their donuts.
Wow.
So again,
that's huge reach.
If it lifts everybody up, we think it's great for all these communities.
That's great. That's cool. So is it all national? You do, or do you like a 60-40 tournament in like Vegas at all?
So we do, if we look forward to our calendar for 2026, we're going to have something going in Las Vegas the whole year long.
Okay, cool.
We've done a good handful of tournaments in Las Vegas. We've tested other markets too as well. We've done some things regionally. Another exciting one that we did, we want to try and find the best barbecue in the U.S. So we built 4 tournaments. Memphis, Kansas City, we built Texas, and the Carolinas. And we just finished up those 4 tournaments. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take all the people who perform the best, we're going to put them in one national tournament. It's likely going to be launching next April.
Okay. You could do a Final Four, or just the best of the best of those markets?
We're going to take the top 16, put them in another 64 team bracket.
Okay.
And we're going to seed everybody based on how they finished.
Okay.
And we're going to let them fight it out.
That's cool.
And again, I say fight it out. I get it. We don't necessarily want them competing. We do look at it, and if you want to use pizza as an example, there's not a finite size of the pizza. We're trying to make the pizza bigger so everybody gets a little bit bigger slice.
Yeah, I get you. That's cool. So what is, like, for Vegas space, because I'm just curious now, is there any like surprises of places you didn't know about, like that have won or have kind of, come up with these tournaments, and also what tournaments in Vegas that are coming up that we should be aware of that we can, vote on?
So an interesting one, and I'm not a sushi eater, but we have a Best Sushi Las Vegas coming up here shortly.
Okay.
Currently, we have our Best Tacos Las Vegas, which is exploding right now. And again, I'm a super picky eater, so this is kind of funny to even talk about this stuff because I don't eat sushi. I didn't eat tacos until a few years ago.
Yeah.
With pizza, I'm a big pizza eater. If you can just tell, I'm shaped like a pizza. But the funny thing is, Dom DeMarco's, which is right across the street from our offices, they won. And when people ask me, they're like, "Oh, who's going to win? Who's your favorite?" Well, my favorite is one vote. And everybody who works in our company, it's one vote. We don't have any sway over who wins these things.
Right.
And it really is the people who are fans of these local restaurants and these individuals that are going in and showing their support to say that we think that they deserve to be crowned the best.
Yeah, that's so cool. All right, well, I got to check it out. So
Yeah, for sure.
That's a really cool concept, especially like I love March Madness. So it gets you excited, and I'm super curious. Is it posted like all the winners on the site too? I can go back and like check out the mascot, all that stuff.
Yeah, so if you go in there, and the mascot one's interesting because we had an East and a West tournament. We're going to launch our national tournament at the end of October.
Okay.
But they all provided a video, so you get to see a video of all these mascots if you click down into each individual school. One of the reasons why we thought that was such a good one is it just helped build school spirit. I remember that kind of coming up through high school.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just one more way to get engaged in your community, be proud of where you come from, be proud of your school, and have everybody get involved. But you can go back in, there's an archive tournament section. So if you look at previously completed tournaments, you see everything that we've done to date.
Oh, I like that.
Check it out.
That's cool. I'm going to check it out. So congrats. So your company, it's been a little over a year now, so that's exciting. So what has been like, because you're on here about 9 months ago, so it was newer, but what have been like the big challenges and the growth moments that you've had in this past year with it?
It's funny you bring up challenges. Things have changed so much.
Okay.
One of our graphic designers, he came on with us really early, Phil. Love Phil to death. He's like one of my favorite human beings on the planet. But we were just having a conversation last week. I think when we first started, we were in my business partner's, like one of his bonus rooms in his house, like a game room, sitting around a table. And shortly, like we've grown. And as you grow, if you look at where we started back in April, I think we brought on our first employee. If you count some of the people who work part-time with Fortune Events, we're probably somewhere over 50 employees right now.
Yeah.
Every month creates a brand new challenge. And it's one of the things that, again, it's a challenge, but it's exciting because we talk about some of the things that we have to solve for right now.
Yeah. And
we go back 9 months ago, 12 months ago, and think, the things that we're solving for back then are simple compared to what we're solving for now. Wow. And as everything builds, there's about 8 different companies, a couple of nonprofits in there. As everything builds, every day has its own unique set of challenges. And it seems like every challenge the next month down the road just feels like it's that more impactful and that more important. Wow. So like I hear challenge, I hear excitement. It's how I'm wired.
Yeah, same.
But it's honestly, it's growth.
That's great. It's funny how that works too, right? Because you're right. Because if you look back a quarter, a year, whatever it is, you think at that time, like, oh man, how are we going to do this? Whatever it is, the industry, our team and everything. And then you look back like, that wasn't really that bad. Now, the next, so it's funny how the mind works, right?
Yeah.
And now you're doing F1. I mean, you're like, yeah, it's gone to another level. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it's just, you're always chasing the next milestone.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we talk sports. Like as an athlete, you get wired that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? You get wired to get to the end of the week where you play the game ends, you enjoy it for about 4 hours, you take it in, you take a deep breath, you analyze where you're at, and you start preparing for the next game. And even from season to season, you do the same thing. You live in 6-month cycles where now we're preparing to win a championship. You either win it or you don't win it. Then the off season starts and you're preparing to get ready for the next year. And it's these cycles that show up. They show up in athletics, but they show up in business too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I like the parallels with it. And that is the one thing I've gotten out of this pod. It's typically former athletes or military that are running their own business, or salespeople that are running on a high level because they like that challenge. They're okay with failing every day and keep moving forward. So yeah, I hit it right on the nose. Yeah. So excellent. So what are your goals look like for the next year, 5 years with this company? Because it's growing rapidly, So tell me more about that.
So is somebody who is remarkably fixated on goals, I'm going to be embarrassed to tell you that we have some pretty big aspirations, but nothing's penciled out. And to explain that, like if you think about business planning, just in general, most people get so fixated on the business plan. Normally when you're in business for a month, the market's going to tell you what direction you need to go.
Right.
Your business plan was a great concept before you actually started operating, but once you operate, things change. And I think, with us, where we look at where we're, a few years down the road, with Fortune Events, obviously, we're looking to be the premier catering experiential company for anybody who's looking for a high-end culinary experience in Las Vegas. For the 64, we want to be the premier voting platform. If somebody says the best of, we want to make sure that they think of the 64. We have other concepts to build out. So I think I've talked about the dynamic. Justin, my business partner, Justin Wu, he is the creative mind behind what we do. Every idea that we've come up with, for the most part, has come out of him. And I'm the one who has to find a way to make it work.
Okay.
I know for a fact we have 5 other concepts that we want to try and build out within the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
It's just a matter of having the capacity of doing it, because right now we're a function of the people that we have in the office. I'd like to think we built a great culture. I think we have a great group of people working with Wu Fortune Cookie and the 64 and Fortune Events and all the spin-offs that we're doing. I wish we had twice as many people, because it feels like we could run twice as fast.
But
cool. That's the challenge of growth. You need to make sure it's measured growth. You don't want to go ahead and grow too fast. The biggest thing that can harm a startup business is cash flow if you try to grow too fast. So it's a matter of weighing growth versus making a decision that kind of puts you over your skis.
Yeah, I like too what you talked about too, like business planning as well, because as much as we want to plan the next year, 5 years, right? I think you hit on those. It does depend on the market, because I know like in real estate, if you're not paying attention to that business plan, you kind of have to look at that monthly, quarterly, and it does depend on the market and what you're going to do. So spot on there, because most people, they only do it once a year, and you got to keep looking at it. So, but I love how you hit on culture, because it does seem like you guys have an awesome culture. I'd love to learn more about that. What makes it a great culture? You as a leader, what do you guys do to build a great culture? Because most businesses, what I've seen, that have the best culture tend to have the most success as well.
At the end of the day, I think you want everybody bought in, but you can't force people to be bought in. Right? I think as a leader, you have to live the culture that you want to create, but it's not just your leader that creates the culture. Every single person that we bring on the team, they're going to shift the culture a little bit. So it's really our job to bring the right people on. And the way that I look at my position within everything that we're doing, my job is to find great people that can do great things and find ways to get their problems out of their way. So people ask me when I made the transition from banking into entrepreneurship, it must be so different. And at the end of the day, it isn't really different. Every day you have problems that show up and they walk in your office. You have to find ways to solve them. So, I think I had a conversation with one of our team members earlier this week, and we're talking about, I made a comment that to treat everyone fairly or treat everyone equally, you don't treat them the same, right? So as a leader, you have to kind of realize if somebody is, let's say somebody's an analytical person, they might be a little bit introverted. If you try to coach them the same way you try to coach somebody who's extroverted and maybe creative, you're going to fail with one of the two.
Absolutely.
You have to make sure that you're working with people in the way that's going to make them the best version of what they can be while they're at the office.
Yeah.
And also at the end of the day, we just care about our people, right?
That's huge.
It's
people feel that.
Yeah.
That's big.
I mean, it's not just, oh, hey, how was your weekend? And as you answer, I'm just going to go ahead and start thinking about something else. Like, we honestly, we care. And the people who are leaders in the office, everybody kind of has that same perspective.
Yeah.
I look at things in a way where I get it, we have titles and there's a hierarchy.
Yeah.
But together we're all working towards the same goal. And to tie this into athletics, right, and football, just because we seem to be going back to it.
Yeah.
Yes, a quarterback's important, right? Yeah. He's going to be the guy who's probably going to get interviewed after the game. But if you don't have the right left tackle, you're not going to have a good quarterback.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everybody's playing on the same team. And you can have a great team, but if you don't have a great coach, if you don't have a great front office, the likelihood that you're going to be a championship team once, much less over and over again, is really low. Everybody has to pull their weight and move in the same direction.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that offensive line, you got to have it, right?
Exactly.
So. Cool, and I love how you talked about personality styles too, because that's such important, especially being a leader in sales. It's such an important part, and I tell my agents all the time, because the listing presentation or however you're speaking to somebody, it doesn't matter what it is different how you communicate, because people are different of how they're wired. So to have that emotional intelligence you have, that's a huge thing. And I kind of want your take too, because you were in baking. Now interest rates are coming down a little bit here. Any thoughts on the market and what you're seeing? I know you're kind of out of that now. You're in a different world, but you're a smart dude. I'm just curious, like what are you seeing in the market right now?
So I think, and I'm not going to go ahead and say right now is the best time to buy, because I think you can spin data at any given point in time in history and say right now is the best time to buy. I mean, if you need something, obviously it is the best time to buy. But what I think, for the people who are waiting for the 2008 crash and prices to come back because they feel like prices are too high, I don't see it happening.
I don't either.
I mean, it really goes back to the economic law of supply and demand. Right? Right now, there's an issue with inventory. There's still low inventory. If rates pull back down, what will happen is you'll have some of those people who were sitting on homes that they thought they were going to never sell. You shrink the rate between their current payment and their new payment, and all of a sudden that delta between the two is like, okay, maybe I could go move up. Well, when they go move up, that adds new inventory to the market. The problem is it's not just an increase in supply and demand. I think your demand comes up a little bit quicker, which ends up pulling up your prices, because now as some of that more entry-level inventory hits, now you have somebody on the sidelines who isn't a homeowner who's in the market. The person who's selling them that house is in the market buying another home, so you see a bit of a I actually think you probably see a little bit of an increase in prices. So going back to is now the right time to buy? I look at it like this. If you go buy a home, if you know prices are going to go up, you can always refinance. People seem to forget that. I don't know that we'll ever get back to the 2-3% rate world. I think if you're waiting for that, you'll be waiting until you hit the grave. But if you look at historically where rates are at, right now in the low 6s, high 5s, if you do a buy down, maybe you hit the 4s. It's not a bad time. And again, so long as you're doing it within your means, you're finding a new opportunity for yourself to either move up in housing or get into your first house. I think right now is a great time to do it. The people who, like myself, I'm sitting on an exceptional interest rate. Rates are going to have to come down far enough before I'm incented to make that next move.
For sure.
but it'll get there.
Yeah.
It's going to happen because the things that naturally happen in the course of somebody's life, either they get married, they get divorced, the kids move out of the house, you get new kids and enter the house because you have new babies. Those types of things are going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
And when those types of things happen, it creates opportunities for somebody to move up, move out, or somebody else to move in.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nose because we've been in Vegas here. We've been in real estate recession now for 3 years. Sales were the lowest since '93. Looks like it's going to be 12% lower this year, and prices went up.
Yeah.
So it only went up a point. So they've basically been flat, right? They've gone up in the last 3 years, median sales price of $425 to $485. But the biggest thing for me that I've noticed is the market is stable here.
Yeah.
So it's a little silver lining to it, because when we were, here 15, 20 years ago and the market was crashing because there was no real, it was very surface level, we didn't have the economy here. There's so many more things here that are more established. So I think that's a little bit of the silver lining, like that crash isn't happening in Vegas, so I think that's a little bit of the win that has occurred through the last 2 years in real estate. So
I'll ask you a question about real estate.
Yeah.
Right now, what's the average time on market? I mean, how many months are we sitting with available
3 or 4
inventory?
months.
And what's balanced? Like if you were to say a balanced market, you would say it would have X amount of months of inventory.
That is traditional. I think you hit it right in the nose, right? We were used to the pandemic where everything sold in seconds and hours, maybe days was a lot, right? So now we're just back in a traditional, people have forgotten of those markets, right?
Yeah.
And it is still a little bit slow. I think it's not necessarily a total traditional market. We do, but maybe with the rates coming down, I think there's a lot of uncertainty in all the markets where consumer confidence is down, but the rates are kind of in the area now where it makes sense for things to start moving again. So we'll see what happens. It's only been a week, so.
I think you hit the nail on the head with balance, and that was the question of, okay, if we have 3 months of inventory in the market, I think what a stable market is 3 to 6 months worth of inventory in the market.
Yeah.
So right now we have a relatively stable market, and yet people are looking at it like it's a negative thing because, not to bag on millennials or their perception on I want things now, because I want things now too.
Yeah.
But I think even in the real estate market, there's a lot of people who were spoiled by low interest rates and things flying off the market.
Yeah.
And there being a ton of inventory in the market. And if you look at it, it's actually relatively normal. And you've been in the industry for a while, and I was tied to that industry a little more.
Yeah.
We probably prayed every night, can we just get normal again?
Right.
And now that we have normal, we don't know what to do with it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think a lot of the new agents, they don't know what to do, but if you're in the business for over 7 years, or 10 years, 15 years, you've seen it before. It's just you got to be a little bit more patient. You got to grind a little bit more. But it's good because the people that are grinding, they take more market share. The people that are not, they leave the market. So that's all good. Before I get you to go here, can we talk a little bit of Vegas Justice League?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
So Vegas Justice League, where this started, again, Justin Wu and his wife Lydia, they're very philanthropic, want to give back, and they actually started with a nonprofit called Vegas Helps, and it was meant to do small acts of kindness. And Justin just happened to be looking into, he's a tech guy at heart, right? Not only is he creative, he's a tech guy. He was looking into DNA research and cold cases, and he saw that somebody was trying to raise money to do DNA testing, to test for, I can't remember exactly what it was for, but somebody who either went missing or had passed away, and they were trying to get to the bottom of it. So he ponied up the money himself. And what that turned into with Vegas Justice League is kind of our local arm of Project Justice. Fast forward, Project Justice has solved 50 cold cases.
Wow.
Vegas Justice League, being the local arm, has solved 9. So whether it's missing persons or whether it's people who passed away, I mean, personally, I showed up to one of the press conferences at Metro and had a family travel in from out of state and talk about being a little bit more at ease, finally getting some of the answers to what happened to their sister 30 years prior.
Yeah.
Unbelievably touching, like really powerful. But it's just one of those things where we're trying to impact the local markets that we're in, the local community, and this is just one way to give back. We try not to talk in terms of closure, because at the end of the day, when you lose a loved one, I don't know that anybody ever finds true closure, but there might be a little bit of solace found in the fact that at least they know what happened, and they can try and live the next day a little bit better than the day before.
Wow, that's a great cause. So cool. Well, I appreciate you being on, man. Time always goes quick with you. So round 2's in the books. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Damien Bauman in the house, guys. We're running Vegas. Take care of yourselves today.